The hushed corridors of Royal Lodge, once a symbol of enduring royal ties, have recently borne witness to a clandestine departure, marking a precipitous turn in the fortunes of Sarah Ferguson, the former Duchess of York. Her exit from the Windsor estate, described by multiple sources as abrupt and deeply humiliating, paints a stark picture of a royal figure navigating a dramatic personal and public crisis. Reports detail Ferguson being spirited away under the cloak of darkness, concealed in the back seat of a vehicle, amidst a disarray of partially packed belongings and an influx of Amazon deliveries, a scene far removed from the regal life she once inhabited. This ignominious departure leaves Sarah Ferguson effectively without a permanent abode, a direct consequence of her former husband, Prince Andrew, being compelled to vacate Royal Lodge. While Andrew has maintained a visible presence, occasionally seen traversing the Windsor grounds and acknowledging the public, Sarah reportedly receded almost entirely from public view. Insiders cited by the Daily Mail indicate that the Duchess had been quietly preparing for this eventuality for weeks, discreetly moving in and out of the 30-room mansion. Unlike Andrew, who continued his regular appearances, Sarah allegedly adopted extreme measures to avoid detection, with once Ors claiming she would lie flat in the back seat of a car during her movement. The intensity of this secrecy escalated significantly following the release of a new tranche of Epstein-related emails, which reignited intense scrutiny of Sarah's past associations with the convicted sex offender. These newly unearthed communications reportedly caused considerable disquiet among senior royals, particularly due to references made to Princesses Beatrice and Eugenie. Concurrently, King Charles reportedly grew increasingly disturbed by his brother Andrew's continued unfettered presence on the estate, leading to urgent discussions between Charles and Prince William at Andreham the weekend preceding the eviction order. Shortly thereafter, both Andrew and Sarah were instructed to vacate Royal Lodge ahead of schedule. One account suggests Andrew was forced out around midnight, even before he had completed packing his possessions, implying Sarah's departure was likely similarly chaotic. Staff were reportedly left to manage the aftermath, discovering dust sheets draped over furniture, packing cases strewn throughout the property, and bare walls where royal artwork had once hung. The once grand royal residence was thus reduced to the semblance of an abandoned house cut mid-relocation. The unusual nature of Sarah's living arrangement at Royal Lodge has long been a subject of quiet speculation within royal circles. Despite her divorce from Andrew in 1996, she continued to reside with him at the property for many years. Royal Lodge, held under a long lease reportedly extending to 2078, was not a typical Grace and favored dwelling, with Andrew bearing responsibility for costly renovations and ongoing upkeep, expenses that reportedly ran into the millions and proved challenging for him to meet. When this lease was effectively revoked, Sarah's already precarious living situation disintegrated rapidly, stripping her of the residential security she had relied upon for decades. In the weeks leading up to the eviction, Royal Lodge reportedly saw a steady influx of Amazon deliveries, despite Andrew's already vast collection of personal items. Sources described the relocation process as a month-long, room-by-room undertaking, necessitated by the sheer volume of possessions accumulated over decades. A recurring detail in these accounts is Andrew's renowned collection of teddy bears, most of which were reportedly among the first items packed away into long-term story, though one stuffed monkey is said to have remained with it. Behind the scenes, the atmosphere within Royal Lodge was reportedly fraught with tension. In November, a source informed reporters that Andrew spent much of his time pacing the house alone, muttering to himself. Sarah, meanwhile, reportedly confided in staff and friends at a discreet establishment known as the Dog House. The source noted at the time that both were spending considerable time in solitude, with Andrew rarely venturing out, instead padding around the lodge, ranting and muttering. It was also revealed that Sarah and Andrew maintained separate lives within different sections of the house, converging only for lunch and dinner, where discussions about their futures took place. Sarah, in particular, was described as panicking about what comes next and not in a good place. Since her departure from Royal Lodge, Sarah's precise whereabouts have remained uncertain, fueling widespread speculation that she may have left the country. Royal author Andrew Lone East suggested to the Mirror that Sarah has a history of departing Britain when under pressure, with potential destinations including Thailand, a known locale for her spa retreats, the Caribbean island of Mistake, a long-favored royal destination, or Switzerland. Rumors of her staying at Richard Branson's Necker Island were firmly denied by his representatives. Despite the conjecture, recent reports indicate Sarah's preference to remain in Windsor long-term. However, financial constraints may impede this desire. Sarah Ferguson has been characterized as desperate in the latest revelations from the Epstein files, with emails between her and Jeffrey Epstein showing her frequently seeking money and attention from the convicted pedophile. According to Yahoo Finance, her estimated net worth is approximately $752,000, a sum that renders even modest housing in Windsor largely unattainable, with terraced homes reportedly exceeding $800,000. Regardless of her current location, Sarah cannot escape the renewed impact of the Epstein scandal on her daughters. The newly released emails and documents have reportedly deeply distressed Princesses Beatrice and Eugenie. The correspondence allegedly includes Andrew sending photographs of his daughters to Epstein. In another deeply uncomfortable exchange, Sarah made a crude joke about Eugenie's sex life in an email to Epstein. Furthermore, emails suggest Sarah took both daughters to visit Epstein in the United States just days after his release from prison in 2009, a claim previously denied by sources close to her. One particularly unsettling email exchange from March 2010 has attracted intense scrutiny. Jeffrey appears to inquire about a potential trip to New York, writing simply N. Why? Sarah's response not sure yet. Just waiting for Eugenie to come back from a shagging weekend. The timing of this message is significant, having been sent around Eugenie's 20th birthday, which she spent with her then boyfriend, now husband, Jack Brookspan. Sources close to the sisters told the Daily Mail that they were aghast by what they read. Once, or stated, they are mortified by the emails their mother sent. It is so embarrassing for them. We do not believe the girls were told much about what has just emerged, and they will be aghast at just how close their parents were to this appalling man. A friend of Princess Eugenie reportedly conveyed to page 6 that she feels unfairly implicated in the scandal. The source stated, Eugenie feels like she is being tarnished with a brush that is not hers. That brush belongs to her father. She is very frustrated. They are in as good spirits as they can be, but it is a never-ending mess. Former BBC royal correspondent Jenny Bond, who has known Sarah for years, acknowledged Sarah's oft unlikable nature, expressing hesitation to criticize another mother's parenting. However, Bond questioned what kind of mother would take her daughters, then aged 19 and 20, to Miami to have lunch with a convicted criminal who had been out of jail for just 5 days. Bond further asserted that joking about Eugenie's private life in emails was deeply insensitive and damaging, suggesting Sarah must now confront not only her reputation, but also the potential damage to her relationship with her daughters. Despite maintaining a low profile, reports suggest Sarah remains defiant. According to the Mail, around the time the latest files were released, she was reportedly in discussions with an author regarding a new ghostwritten memoir. She is also said to have no intention of moving back in with Andrew. Andrew Loney told the Mail, I think she still believes that without him weighing her down, she can make some kind of comeback. Throughout these unfolding events, Prince Andrew has steadfastly insisted on his innocence, with a source telling the Mail that he feels hard done by and unfairly treated. Sarah, meanwhile, has reportedly maintained that she had minimal involvement in any of this mess, despite the volume of emails suggesting otherwise. Both Sarah Ferguson and Prince Andrew have been approached for comment regarding the latest revelations, but neither has responded.